Welcome to the Fundraising Elevator, where we're all headed up. This podcast is a production of Elevate, an online learning platform for fundraising event professionals. We're coming to you today from the studios of the AV department. Please welcome our hosts, Kristin Steele and Samantha Swaim.
Hello, and welcome to the Fundraising Elevator, where we're all headed up. We're excited today to have our dear friend Kelly Russell in studio with us to talk all about fundraising events right here. Let's see, end of June. Probably most of our nonprofit friends have wrapped up and finished their fundraising event. Yeah. They're like, I just finished my spring fundraising event. They put themselves
on a deserted island somewhere
and
in the sun.
And we want to talk about getting ready for your fall fundraising event. There's no time like the present.
No time. Dive right in.
If someone doesn't know who Kelly Russell is, we should officially introduce her.
Let's do it. Kelly Russell is an expert auction strategist, benefit auctioneer, and fundraising host who has helped organizations raise over $200 million in support of their great work across the nation. It's Kelly's donor-first philosophy and remarkable results that keep clients coming back year after year. She is also the author of the book on fundraising auctions. We love her. We've worked with her for decades. Decades.
She was 4.
She was 4.
I started out at
3.
4.
And I was 3.
Yeah. That's right.
Kelly, we are in a moment right now where a lot is changing. How are you seeing events perform right now?
You know, it's really interesting. I see right now that the events, some of them are doing really well. Some of them are not doing well.
Yep.
But I think that this is a year where we're not going to see a lot of growth necessarily in fundraising. And if you get an even event, that's great.
That's a win.
That is a good win.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a win. So be excited about that and celebrate it. No matter what you do, you've got to celebrate it. But I think that it's a little bit tough for some folks.
Yep.
And we've got to acknowledge that it is tough for some folks. I think that attendance is interesting right now. I've heard a lot of people say that attendance is lower this year.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that a lot. Or if it's not lower, if they still have a lot of people coming to the event, they're new, which is
opportunity.
Also, opportunity. Yep. That's why I'm like, that's exciting. You've got new people. Let's cultivate them and make them donors for life, right? That's what we want to do. So I feel like that's kind of the big news around fundraising. You can do really well, but it's all about planning. And the biggest trend is plan early.
Get on a good cadence and timeline.
I feel like that's something that we've talked a lot about for years with a lot of our organizations is being ahead of schedule. But if we're thinking right now about our fall events, right? Hopefully we already have our venue booked. We hopefully have our auctioneer booked, our date plan. But what tips do you have for planners about how do we get out of the crunch? How do we use this summertime? Besides refresh and refuel, which hopefully people important. Do take a summer break.
That is important.
But how do we use the summertime to help our fall events not be so crisis oriented?
This is a great time to work on your auction, right? Or work on your event, whatever it may be. I always think about, you all teach about how it takes 400 hours to have an event, right?
Yeah.
You're putting planning. 400 hours in planning. That's the other thing. That's in the planning portion. I always say it's plus or minus 400 hours to people, and they go, I said it's plus if you don't have expert help along the way. It's minus if you get some people that know what they're doing, right?
Yep.
Because we all know how to do the back end work to make it go quicker for you, and you can focus on your donors. And that is something that I know you all do brilliantly. And so I think it's interesting because people always go, okay, if you broke that down even 400 hours, that's a 40-hour work week, which we all know we're working more than that, but it's a 40-hour work week. That's 10 weeks. That's 2.5 months. So if you're starting in 2.5 months before your event, you better be full-time on your auction and be ready to go. So I look at that and I go, planning is so critically important. And we're going to have times. And the bigger part is that beyond that, you need time to cultivate your donors and have that great donor stewardship. So if you're not taking the time and the energy with your donors along the way and bringing them along and gathering with them in community and making sure that they understand it each time you see them, they get a little new nugget about how great your organization is, then you're missing an opportunity.
Absolutely.
So it's not just the hours that you put in for the planning, it's also in that cultivation. I also think it's really important to focus on what you're doing to solve the solutions that you're facing. You gotta solve the problem, right? You have a solution that you need, to the problem that is at hand. So it's important to focus on that. So folks are really plan for that. What is your entire event about?
Yep.
Because if you have a really great mission and structure to it, it's gonna shatter all records even right now, right? Like it's about getting in there and planning really well. So take your time right now over the summer and think about, what do I want our event to look like? What do I want my donors to feel when they sit through that event? Because when they feel all the feels that you want them to, they're like, that was magical.
Yep.
It's completely moving to them.
Yeah.
And when you have that, there's nothing better.
It's interesting. I think that we're hearing from a lot of folks about the importance of honesty right now, right? Like talking to our donors about where we're really at, how we're being impacted. But you mentioned something that I think is critical, which is, how are you a part of the solution, or what is your mission doing to address and get in front of what current crises we're facing? Yeah. I think if we only talk about the crisis, we're putting people into that fear state.
Oh, yeah.
But when we talk about the solution, we're putting people into a hope state and connecting people into this sense of belonging and a part of, which I think is super important.
Well, and those solutions should be the basis of your program. And so, I mean, if you're at this point and you have we're end of June and you have a fall event and you haven't thought about what stories are happening on that stage yesterday, that should have been done, right? Especially if you're going to use video to do any of those elements, but they should be, each of those pieces should be about how you are the solution.
Yeah.
How funding you makes that mission manifest in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the other part to it too. While you're planning early, we all know the importance of a really short, succinct program.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're planning and you're thinking, I'm planning so far in advance for this thing. It's only going to be a couple hours. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal because every single moment matters.
Yeah.
Every moment matters in that program.
Yeah.
And if you just kind of wing it, it's going to be like, oh, that's a nice event.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Fundraising is maximized with momentum.
That's correct. Yeah, I love that.
And your program is what's between you and momentum.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. That's what establishes that. Let's talk revenue.
Okay.
Because these are fundraisers after all.
Revenue.
What are some of the most important things to include for maximizing revenue?
All right. My number one is always a paddle raise.
Thank you.
A paddle raise.
Thank you.
If you do nothing else, please have a moment where you ask people to give you money.
Yes.
Because it is the simplest thing to do, and they're there to give you money.
Yes.
So you definitely want to ask them to give you money. That is so important. Not doing that, which I've heard of people not doing that before, and I went,
I've heard of that.
I've heard of that.
I've heard too.
I haven't let that happen.
Right, exactly.
I will be asking for money. But, I look at it and I go, you have to ask for money, and you have to ask people to give to your cause. But again, it comes back to that storytelling.
Yeah.
It always comes back to storytelling, because when you tell a great, compelling story, now all of a sudden people go, oh, I want to support that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me put my card in the air.
Yep.
And that's what we want to see. So that compelling story is so important. And within that paddle raise, you have to have a couple key components.
Yep.
You have to have pre-committed gifts.
Yes.
It's that momentum you were just talking about. So I think that's so fun, because every single time I talk to folks, I talk about the importance of the pre-committed gift is so that when someone raises that paddle in the air, it builds trust in your room.
It does.
I've heard you all say that.
Yeah.
And I say it
can
too.
quickly create distrust.
Correct.
If you don't if you say, if Kelly's up there on your stage, anyone at $10,000,
Crickets.
people go, well, why is anyone giving? I'm not going to give. And then someone else gives.
And it's exactly that body language that I see from the stage. I see people go, oh, I know.
Is it time to go to the bathroom? Do I need another drink from the bar?
Hey,
So for our listeners, the body language was a lean back and an arms crossed.
Yeah, usually it's like, oh, but when you have people that are raising their hands, it's so much fun to be on stage for that, because you see 3 or 4 hands go up in the air and everyone goes, whoa.
Yep.
And the excitement on their faces of like, what do I not know about this organization?
Yep.
This is cool. And then we add to that where we get to a lower level and add in a matching gift.
Yep.
So then people are super excited because their gift is being matched, right? So, and all of these things are part of the paddle raise specifically, a part of the appeal specifically. it also comes back to, we're going to say this a few times. It comes back to that short program, right?
Yep.
It's the short program. The short program is vitally important. When you keep it succinct and really on target, on task, people feel like you didn't waste their time. And I always say donors are coming and they're giving you their money.
Yeah.
But they're also giving you their time, which is equally valuable. So if they're not showing up, that's a commodity that they'd like to keep to themselves.
Yeah.
So how do you get them to come in and be a part of that?
There is no greater gift to me than when someone respects my time.
Oh,
it
I
is
love
such a gift.
It is. Absolutely. And the funny part is I'm an auctioneer and you didn't hear me say live auction in that, right?
Well, let's talk about the live auction.
Yeah.
So the paddle raise is the number one revenue generator opportunity.
Yeah.
But there is opportunity sometimes in having a live auction. So talk to me about what's selling right now. I find that anytime we are in times of transition or change, what is popular changes.
Yes.
So if I was going to do a live auction of 5 items, what 5 items would you tell me to have in my live auction?
Well, it depends on the organization, I would say, too. But what I would say is that I think that you have to be aware of the climate, right? There's a lot of things that are going on in the world.
Yeah.
So travel can be hard for some people.
Yep. Yeah.
I literally tried to sell a travel opportunity not too long ago, and everyone went, and they didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And it was
No,
abroad,
thank
and they were
you.
like, no, thank you. And I thought, ooh, I didn't think that all the way through, did I? And we're in this new, and in that moment, no one did, right? No one really thought, oh, that's not going to be a big deal. We all go there anyway.
Yeah.
So local travel is really great. I think about local travel. I think about, for those of you who have an organization that is not a sober organization, the wine, bottles of wine
collections,
tastings, things like that. If you want to do like a distillery tasting or tour or beer tour or something like that, that can be fun too. There's curated gatherings that you can do. There's things that have access to someone specific in your organization or a celebrity of some sort.
Yeah.
Those things are fun too. And I really like mission-centered opportunities. There's nothing better than centering your mission of your organization in a package.
So for folks who haven't thought about that, like for folks who think about the live auction and think it has to be the instant wine cellar or the trip to whatever, and
I'm a school. What am I going to do?
Exactly.
Teach a kindergarten class?
See their,
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Can't see their mission in a live auction package. What's a great example you've seen lately of that, so people can start to get their brain around that?
One of our favorites, Hedgebrook. I love them. Every single year they come up with some clever stuff. But I mean, I've seen them do very mission-focused items. This is probably the brilliance right out of your brain, Sam or Kristin. I love the book basket that they do every year.
Yeah.
They are women who are authoring change. And so they get books by women who have come to Hedgebrook and they share that community. These people, they love to read. They love to write. This is an opportunity to share authors' words and to get a big old basket from all of their alumni. So great. I love that. I think that's simple. And it doesn't sell for high dollars. It sells for more than what the books would cost you at the store.
That's right.
Absolutely.
But
That's
it's impactful because it speaks directly to the mission. I've seen people do, they lean into music, so they curate a small concert or they pair dinner and a unique experience where they get to be a part of it and still go in and work with a group and have like a fun event that people get to come and pay to go to.
Yeah.
They pay per couple or per seat to go to that event, and they still get to cultivate those donors at that event, which is...
That's the bonus of those.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's really good.
You get to have an auction item that you sell that then you turn into a cultivation event.
Yeah, correct.
That's amazing.
That's like prime. I love it. I think it's the best part. But there's so many different things that you can do. You just have to think of something that's small but impactful. And, I know schools tend to do things like principal for the day for the kids.
Yeah.
And that's great because the kids love that opportunity.
Yeah.
Or,
A parking spot.
What's that?
A parking spot at the school.
Oh, yeah. Parking spot at the school is a big one, too.
The parent who doesn't want to sit in the pickup line for a year.
All year long. They're like, whoop, here's my spot. You can come find me here, kiddos. So that kind of stuff can be really great for those kinds of events. But you just have to think outside the box a little bit. And sometimes we did one a long, long time ago wasn't it a CSA where you got a CSA box?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like many years ago. And we like signed people up for those.
Yeah,
and
it was part of one of their
It was one of their programs.
It was a community program of teaching people their own sustainable food.
Right.
And they had community gardens, and you could buy a CSA membership for their community garden.
Yeah, and it was great.
Well, and what's great to me about mission-centered items is you're taking your live auction, which is transaction-based giving,
Right.
and you're turning it into something else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not
Mission
just
focus, education.
It's not just a straight purchase where you're like, I'm going to Vegas. You're having people noodle on your mission.
Right.
You're having people live in your mission a little bit longer than putting their bid card in the air. And it starts to work on them. It becomes a storytelling piece, which that sticks with them. I think it's a really great way to bridge that gap sometimes in transactional giving.
Yeah.
It's also an experience. You know, we always talk about experiences being the best. You can even do something as simple as on your wall of wine, putting a label on it that says this was purchased at this event.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
when they pull it out of their wine rack, they remember.
They go,
your
oh
organization.
yeah, I
great.
got that at this auction that I went to. Let me tell you about that with whoever they're sharing that bottle with at dinner, right? So you've got ways that you can infuse your mission into people's lives and remind them about why you're so great.
Yep.
So you mentioned transactional.
Yep.
Let's talk about the silent auction.
Let's do it.
Because the silent auction is like transaction, right?
Yep.
The challenge that we've discovered recently in the silent, well, there's two challenges in the silent auction. It's kind of fading away.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing, right? Because we see that it's a low dollar revenue overall for the budget, but very, very high effort, right? Like you have to collect the items, package the items, track all the items, merchandise the items. There's so much time that goes into it for such a low dollar return. The second thing we've seen is that people are so desperate to connect in community right now that it competes with that. So it's actually the thing people don't want to do because they want to be in conversation and in community.
Yep.
And then the third thing we're seeing is just a generational shift in giving, that our younger donors are more interested in mission impact than they are in stuff, in transaction.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yet, the silent auction sometimes gives us an access point,
Yeah.
right, for folks to be able to participate at a lower dollar amount. So what would you recommend for folks if they were saying this radical idea, we're going to scrap our silent auction? What are other low dollar entry points that you've seen effectively raise money or effectively engage people?
Yeah, I think you mentioned something really important there, which is generational giving.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a whole boomer crowd, they want a silent auction.
Sure.
Give it to them. That's where they're gonna want it. But you're right. There's so many people that are like, I want to talk to my friends and I want to hang out. So what else can you do? You know, there are some people who go to the online auction, obviously, and that is a way to kind of spread that out. You can also, you don't have to have it in tandem with your event, friends.
Yeah.
You can do your own. I mean, we all know that when you go procure, you know, items for a silent auction, it's like shaking apples from a tree. Things come rolling in and you're just going, okay, what do I do with this?
Yes, that's exactly
It's
right.
exactly it. What do I do with this? So there are things you can do. But if you do an online auction, I had one group do an online auction right before Christmas.
Oh, that's
They
smart.
did it before
great.
Christmas and
That's
they
smart.
sold all that. It was great. Sold, done. Everyone was happy. Had a great event online. I like the ideas of taking those items and putting them into grab bags.
We love that too.
It's so easy. It's $25. You grab a mystery bag and you get something worth $25 or more, right? Great, perfect, done. You can do them in tiers if you want. We see that a lot. We also, I really enjoy in the live auction, if you're going to do a live auction and you have like 20 items, this is a great way to reduce that from 20, because like you don't
do a 20 item live auction.
Thank
is what
you.
you should hear from that.
Yes. Preach. Don't do a 12 item auction. Do it 6. You know, you don't need a whole lot.
That's right.
So 6-ish is like the real sweet spot. But the other thing that we've been doing a lot of is a bid frenzy. So if you have items that are great enough to be in the live auction, you do a bid frenzy. It's really fun. It's quick. You say, all right, here's the price of the item on the screen. It's the tickets to the game. Boom. Who wants it for $500? Bidder number 204, you got it. It's yours. Whoever they see first as the auctioneer.
First paddle in the air.
Yeah, it's called a bid frenzy. Some people call it speed paddle. I mean, there's lots of names for it, but it's fun. And it's a chance to just really quickly sell some items.
Yeah.
So you can get like 5 items done in what it takes the time to sell one whole item.
Yep.
So do 2 bid frenzies if you need to. If you've got 10 extra items, just get them sold really fast.
And you're creating momentum.
Yeah. It's fast, and you've got to be quick to get it.
Yeah.
The other things are, raffles. You got your golden ticket. You've got your rapid raffle. There are a lot of different ways that you can there's a lot of different ways you can pick for raffles. And it, again, depending on your state's local laws, make sure you're following those. So, golden ticket's great. 100 tickets, $100. Pick something out of the live auction, or do a choose your own adventure and have some really wonderful local local travel. Back to the local travel now. I mean, when we're ready to travel further again, we can do the more broad, exciting ones. But a chance to just pick one item out of that, and here's a list of 5. Which one do you want?
Well, and what I love is any one of those options is far more engaging than an auction.
Okay.
All of them. Me writing my name on a sheet.
As we get ready to go to break, I'm going to recap the genius that Kelly just imparted upon us. Okay. 5 tips for what you should be doing right now. Engage expert partners, give yourself lots of time, steward your donors, look to identify how your mission is a part of the solution, and focus on the purpose for your event.
Yep.
Yes.
Then revenue elements to include, and what's going to raise you the most: good storytelling, a short program, raising that paddle. Please have a paddle raise with pre-committed gifts and matching challenges.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the auction. If you have a live auction, local travel, wine, curated experiences that are unique to your organization, mission-centered experiences, or experiences you can create that are access-based. Like, I'm going to give you celebrity access to this chef, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're going to scrap our silent auction.
Gone.
We're going to get rid of it. But we can make use of those donations should they still be something that's available to us. If we have a committee that's procuring donations, we can turn it into an online auction and something that we would call asynchronous in hybrid world now. Grab bags, bid frenzy, raffles, or choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
It's summertime.
Love it.
While folks are getting ready to go sit on a beach.
Yeah.
We've hopefully distilled down some big ideas into some quick bites.
I love it.
We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Elevate. We'll be right back.
Ready to take your fundraising to the next level? Need to get unstuck in your event planning? Now's your chance to connect directly with the experts behind the Fundraising Elevator. Book a one-on-one consulting session with Sam for strategic planning and fundraising strategy, with Kristin for your program and storytelling, or Mary for your registration and data tools. They're here to provide you personalized answers to all your event questions. Don't wait. Raise more at your next fundraising event. Book your session today at elevatenonprofit.com. You can also find the link in the show notes.
We've been partnering with Greater Giving for over 20 years as our go-to event auction software. Greater Giving allows us to do our job, planning fundraising events, even better because we can manage guest lists, seating, bid number assignments, and sales all in one place.
That makes it great for our nonprofit partners and their guests. Check out Greater Giving for your next event at greatergiving.com. Link in the show notes.
There's a party going on right here to elevate your profits for the year. So bring your budgets and your storytelling too. We're gonna elevate your fundraising with you.
Wow. And we have the theme
On the fly.
song.
We have the theme
conference.
song.
I love it.
Well, welcome back to the Fundraising Elevator, where Kelly has led us in to talk all things Elevate.
I love it.
Elevate Conference is something you've been involved with since the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
So we thought, what better way to announce the upcoming Elevate Conference than to have you join us?
I'm so excited.
Because today, our early bird pre-sale is officially now available.
Let's go.
So we want to make sure folks know about what it is. So this is school for your fundraising event. If you've never done a fundraising event, come to Elevate, we got you.
Yes.
If you're looking to refresh your fundraising event, come to Elevate, we got you. If you are looking to do something different and out of the box and mix it up because you're tired of we've always done it that way, come to Elevate, we've got you. Elevate is fun. It is a deep dive into the best practices, but it is also what's currently happening, trends, what's working, and it's a hybrid event. So we are catering to make sure that that individual who sits in the nonprofit, who is responsible and wears the hat for 1, 2, 3 events, but then also wears other hats of things that they have to accomplish. We want to make sure you have the tools to figure out where your time is best used. We want to make sure you're raising the most amount of money. This is something that we saw as a gap in the fundraising nonprofit sector for a very long time. There was very little education around the event. And yet 20 plus years in to fundraising events, we know there is neuroscience, there is strategy, there is a lot of research behind it. So Elevate was designed to really immerse you in fundraising event school. So for folks who've never been, we hope that you'll join us. You can go to swaimstrategies.com, and early bird tickets are now available. It's the cheapest opportunity you're going to have to be able to join us. We also have scholarship available for our LGBTQ and BIPOC serving organizations. We also have an opportunity for organizations to be able to bring groups of people so that they're not the only one. It's not like I'm responsible for the event, and now I'm coming by myself and learning all the stuff, and I have to go.
And now I got to
try
go
to teach other people on my team. We now have, this year, we're doing group discounts. So if you want to bring your whole team,
That's exciting.
you get a discounted rate.
Yeah, it's exciting.
So all that to say, I wanted to ask you both a little bit about your experience with Elevate so folks could get to know Elevate through you all. So Kristin, fundraising school. Tell me a little bit about the takeaways or things that you really love and learn at Elevate.
So we think a lot about how to do both pieces, both kind of the theory and the practical application. So that people get steeped in kind of, we call it the 101, the basics, the fundamentals, which also keep evolving and changing, right? So we are constantly looking at what does this look like right now? What we used to talk about 10 years ago is different than what we're talking about now.
Absolutely.
But also bringing voices across the sector to be in community together, whether that's happening online or if you're joining us in person in Portland, we're connecting those spaces so that people come feeling less alone when they go home. Because I think when you are that person wearing all those hats, that can be a lonely place. And the best ideas I have found people are already out there doing. So let's create a group think around how to create solutions for the obstacles that we're facing in their event. Somebody's done it. Somebody's figured it out. Or it's figure outable. Let's come and do that together, and let's use that energy to then go back and get our events where we want them to be.
Well, and our commitment in finding those solutions and building that community is that we are bringing people as solution resources to the event. So it is our sponsors and our vendors. The folks that are in that room are there because they are really incredible partners to nonprofit event planners. But you've been involved for 7 years, Kelly. What is your favorite part, and what aha moments have you had at Elevate?
My favorite part is all of it.
I love the theme song.
Well, it's true, but it's really the community that comes together. Honestly, there is something really great about being in a room filled with people that have incredible missions that they want to share, and they all share their missions as well as kind of examples of what they're doing. And so we get to learn about everyone in the room and what they're doing.
I learn something from our attendees every year.
Everyone. It's so fun. So I love that community. So my big thing is if you can make it in person, come in person. But I always get so much from the vendors as well, the vendors and the presenters. I mean, last year we had asset-based language. And I loved that with Frank.
Frank Velasquez Jr.
It was so great. It was so great. And I know he did an episode with you all, and it was amazing. And then we had Deanna on site at Elevate this last year talking about the Equistory framework. Those two really stood out to me. And I thought, wow, when I look at a script now, I want to look at it a little bit more, with a little more fine tuning and making sure we're getting the right language out in front of people and that we're not saying the wrong thing. Because being on stage, I want to make sure I'm the best representation for your event.
That's great.
There's always great stuff, but come and be in community, learn from the people. There are so many great vendors. There's so many great presenters. Two of the best presenters I'm sitting with right here, and I love that. But it really is truly wonderful.
Well, and we're going to make sure that you are on stage teaching people how to do all these things because you just gave us insights, right? Rapid raffles, choose your own, golden ticket. People are like, what are those things and how do I do them? We're going to make sure that people know. The other thing that we're not just producing a conference, we're trying to utilize the event and the fact that we're in the middle of an event, having an event as a learning tool. So we use elements of the event as a play-by-play moment to explain why we're doing this element and how you can build that into your event. So it is really like full immersion experience. It is an opportunity for folks to really like take away best practices, but also community and resources. And we hope that folks will really consider joining us. Whether you come to Portland, join us in person. Kelly will sing you a
March
song.
3rd and
I'll sing you a
4th.
song.
I guarantee it.
I don't know what song it's going to be yet, but
there's always fun to be had. But if you can't join us in person, hybrid, we want you to tune in, join us at home, get your notebooks ready, because Elevate is one of our favorite times of the year, and we hope that you'll be joining us. So as we close out, I would just want to ask you both to join me in the fundraising elevator.
I like it.
my favorite.
So the fundraising elevator, where we're all headed up, what one tip or tool would you give to nonprofits right now as they head into summer so that they can keep heading up? Kelly?
I would say anything that you're planning, if you haven't started planning now, go do something right now for your event if you have a fall fundraising event. And it could be going and booking your early bird ticket for March 3rd and 4th.
I love it.
That's great.
Kristin?
I think when you're thinking about your event program, you probably should be well in that and thinking about what your finishing touches are. But don't shy away from showing your passion about your mission on the stage. I think the most compelling programs are when I, in the audience, understand why everyone who is at the mic on your stage believes in your work so much that they are there supporting it. I think getting in touch with why people do the work they do, why they are connected to the organizations they are connected to, is more important than ever.
I love that. I'm going to throw my own in because I think that the world is really hard right now. People need to be filling their cups and finding some joy. But bring that joy back into your planning of your event. Because
absolutely.
if you can find the joy in it, your guests will find the joy in it as well.
You bet.
Like snaps on that too.
So swaimstrategies.com is where you can find information about Elevate. We hope folks will check it out, learn more. If you're interested in last year's Elevate 2025, we do have all on-demand content available for folks, so you can go to the website and find it there. Additionally, artisanauctions.com to find Kelly. If you want her at your event, you need to book her down. That's just the way it works. Unfortunately, if you wait, you will not be able to secure her.
You can still
for
try.
Your event.
You can still try. It's worth the phone call.
It is true. For our friends that are watching and joining us in a video format, we're gonna close out with a little sizzle reel from last year's Elevate, and we hope that you will consider joining us March 3rd and 4th of next year. Have a wonderful summer vacation. Fill your cup, find your joy, and we'll see you at your next event.
Yay!
The Fundraising Elevator is produced in partnership with Swaim Strategies at the studios of the AV department. The program is produced and directed by Steve Osborne, with audio engineering and original music by Dwayne Anderson, Heidi Christensen, and Adam Breeden. Video production by Shannon Doran. Graphic design by Pendulum Creative Group. Marketing by Lisa Aragon. Support from Mary Elizabeth, Todd Campbell, John Lyles, and Andy Dowsett. And voiceover by Josh Boykin.
Thank you all for being a part of Elevate. Fundraising at events has been climbing and climbing and climbing, and we're seeing full rooms again, very exciting, and we're seeing money happen again.
We are stronger together, and Elevate is a powerful way for us to join forces for good.
When we co-founded Elevate, it was critical for us to take what we know and we get to experience in events and share it.
What's the next level of stewardship that we need to bring to our supporters, to our volunteers, even to our staff, to our colleagues, right? Because stewardship ultimately is caring for people.
For our team here at Avenue and the AV department, being a part of the Elevate conference is a cornerstone of our year in bringing together so many friends from our network in one space to learn from each other and to collaborate and bring what each individual group has learned to the table to keep all of our friends in the nonprofit sector as up to speed as possible on trends and best practices in the industry.
Little old streaming company in Portland has definitely branched out over the 3 years, and now we're still here in our own venue, which is great.
There's a great energy in this room, and it's not just in this room, it's all the folks that are joining us online. The speakers so far have been unbelievable. I could probably sit and listen to Sam Swain and Kristin Steele talk for hours, because everything that comes out of their mouths is just perfect nuggets for what we're all trying to achieve with our fundraising events.
I feel like every session so far has been so educational, so on topic, and really engaging and fun to be a part of.
There were best practices that were solid gold some years ago, but they're changing now, and especially around event fundraising.
During lunch today, my organization was featured, and we don't get the limelight too often, so I'm just really humbled to just, be in a great community of nonprofit workers. Gathering is a very important aspect of achieving community prosperity.
We at Kitchen Killer are super excited to bring in new, fresh food, great food, a food that's exciting for people to eat. When people eat more, they drink more. When they drink more, they spend more, and these organizations raise more money.
This was my first time coming, and I'm really glad I did. People seem really engaged. There's a lot of hooting and hollering and applause.
If you're in the industry and you're not here, you're doing yourself a disservice. I think it's important that you come every year, not only to connect and to gather, but again, to learn new things and to learn best practices. I firmly believe that this is the place to be for every single event planner, fundraising professional, those folks in the industry.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey y'all, it's Kristin. Before we leave, I want to ask for your help to make the podcast grow. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please like, follow, and subscribe to the Fundraising Elevator. And if you're getting a lot out of the show, share it with a friend. Leave us a review. These things help make sure that the podcast continues heading up. Thanks so much for being here and tuning in.
Are you ready to engage supporters and grow your base with your own podcast? Then let us introduce you to our partners at the AV department in Portland, Oregon. In addition to delivering exceptional live event audiovisual production and videography, they also have a top-tier production studio and an expert team ready to take your content ideas to the next level. Contact the AV department to schedule a consultation and start bringing your podcast vision to life.